We all know that America has banned electric cars from China. Europe, they put huge taxes on EVs coming from China. And the Chinese are saying, well, you know what? We're coming anyway. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching The Electric Viking. Great to have you with us. And thank you for supporting the channel. Welcome to all the YouTube members on the channel. Really appreciate your support. If you'd like to become a member, I'll put a link in the description. MG, the biggest electric car seller in Europe by far, is actually MG. When I'm saying the biggest electric car seller, I mean the biggest Chinese electric car seller by a mile. Interestingly, BYD, they sell the BYD Dolphin in the country. I mean, but it's very expensive. The BYD Dolphin costs, I believe it starts at 37,000 euros. So 37,000 US dollars for a car that in China costs 14,000 US dollars. Literally, it's triple the price. Triple the price in Europe. Well, not quite, but nearly anyway. So MG, they actually have to pay huge tariffs on Chinese sold EVs. So they've got to pay, I believe it's about 50% tariff. It's about 42% plus a 10% tariff as well. So it's about 52% tariff. BYD's tariff is around about 30%. So their tariff is much, much lower. It's 20%, 18 to 20% plus the 10%. So you're talking 30% versus about 52%. But so BYD's, they're selling their cars in Europe, but MG are selling their cars much, much lower. In fact, one of the viewers of the channel just sent me this video showing MG have reduced the price of their EVs in certain countries in Europe, in particular the Netherlands. They've reduced the price by 10,700 euros. So the cheapest version now costs $24,000. 24,000 when it used to be 32,285. The most expensive version was 35,385, the MG ZS EV. That's the SUV version. Now that's been discounted by 10,700 down to 25,000. The MG5, that costs 25,000 and it was 35,900. So discounted by nearly 11,000 as well. That means you can buy 3 different MG4 models now for 24,000, 25,000 and 25,000 in terms of, that's US dollars basically, or euros. So it's about the same as US dollars. As you can see, MG's like, you can tax our cars. I mean, think about it. They're going to pay 52% tax. And they're still providing these 3 electric car models at these prices, which are cheaper than an equivalent Volkswagen. Like the equivalent Volkswagen ID3 or ID4 are all significantly more expensive. Obviously, the equivalent BYDs, as you can see, are much more expensive as well. MG, they're saying, you know what? Tariffs, we don't care. We are still going to bring out our cars at these incredibly low prices. Now, these prices are not just in the Netherlands. MG are doing similar low prices in numerous countries across Europe. And it's worth mentioning that several car manufacturers, Leap Motor, BYD, numerous car manufacturers are planning on car assembly plants in Europe or near Europe, around North Africa, Turkey as well. That's going to be their strategy to selling EVs into Europe without having to pay these huge, huge tariffs. So I think you can say it's fair to say that the Chinese EV manufacturers won't let tariffs stop them. It doesn't seem to me that they're actually paying any attention. They're just saying, you know what? Okay, that's an obstacle. How do we get around it? Here's a strategy. Here's a solution. We'll sell at a loss if we need to. Doesn't matter. We will sell better product at lower prices. And really, this is a big problem, particularly for companies like Volkswagen, who manufacture vehicles in Europe, who manufacture EVs in Europe, but also for Renault, for Peugeot, for Citroën, for other EV brands being made in Europe. They've got to contend with these massive Chinese powerhouses who are willing to undercut them no matter what the cost is. Now, I find this kind of intriguing, guys. I actually went to an MG store today. Literally went to an MG dealer today. I was actually looking at a vehicle with the load charging cable, but it wouldn't work for my Xpeng G6. But speaking of that, Xpeng now sell the G6 in Europe as well. And even though Xpeng also have to pay around a 20% tariff, they are also selling the G6 at a similar price, a slightly lower price than the Tesla Model Y. But it comes with more standard equipment. And I've mentioned that in numerous videos. It's the key reason why I bought the Xpeng G6. So as you can see, Chinese manufacturers are continuing to really ratchet up their sales in China, or ratchet up their sales not just in China, but also in Europe. And they're willing to do whatever it takes. A lot of people have been saying to me, you know what, I want a cheap, affordable electric car, a hatchback or something like that. Don't really want a BYD Dolphin or an MG4. Well, here it is. Here's your option, here's your choice. And honestly, I actually think this car is better than an MG4 and a BYD Dolphin. Sorry, but not sorry to everyone who's bought one of those cars. But this will continue to happen, guys. You can say this every year. Next year, I'll be able to say something else is better than this. And then the following year, there'll be something better than that. That's just the way it works. That's the way technology is. This new Aion electric car is actually incredibly good value. And unquestionably better value in China, at least, than the MG4 and the BYD Dolphin, where it undercuts both of them on price. It's coming to many global markets. It's coming to Australia, I believe, this year. It's definitely worth knowing the details of this car to decide whether or not you maybe would get this as a second car. I actually think it's absolutely worth considering. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching The Electric Viking. Great to have you with us. If you can support the channel as a YouTube member, by becoming a YouTube member, that would be fantastic. I'll put a link in the description below to our YouTube member page. GAC Aion have begun pre-sales of their new electric hatch in China. It undercuts the BYD Dolphin. And if you're wondering, GAC is one of the biggest car conglomerates in the world, one of the biggest in China. Their electric car division called Aion, they make an electric supercar. I believe it's the best electric supercar in the world. I've seen one of them in China. They are almost everything of it's made in carbon. It's just unbelievably awesome. I love it. This is a car brand that is not just some sort of budget car brand. They last year sold, I believe, just under 500,000 electric cars. Pretty much all of those were in China. They're planning on going global. I actually met one of the representatives from GAC or from Aion, GAC Aion in Australia. Had a chat to him about the brand recently. When I saw the price of this vehicle in China, though, I was shocked. It's $1,350 cheaper than a BYD Dolphin. It's a little bit bigger. It's, I think, almost certainly a bit more premium as well. You can order them in 3 different trim levels. Prices range from $12,300 up to $15,000. Now, guys, can you see? Over the last few months, I've released numerous videos showing you why the BYD Seagull is not the revolutionary car that all these bizarre media organizations keep claiming. As you can see, this car is $12,000. It's the same price as the Seagull. It's much bigger. It's more premium. It's got bigger media screens. I don't really understand this whole Detroit, all this clickbait stuff people keep creating. There are numerous cars in China you can buy for $12,000 that appear to be much better value than the Seagull, but